You should. Maybe that's,
I should.
add that to the list.
I should.
A lot of new guys this fall for you. Who stood out so far?
Corey, what I try to do every fall, and it's like, I remember 2 years ago, we had 20 new guys and 20 returning players. Last year, I think it was 20 new players, 19 returning players. And this year, 17 returning players and 16 new players. So if you're going to have any shot in today's new landscape of college athletics, and I'm not saying you can't bring in all new people and be successful, I'm just saying there is a challenge for getting everybody to play for one another. You know what I'm saying? You want them to play for your school. You want them to be proud of NC State and understand what's on their chest and play for school and have pride in the school in every sport. And I think other sports help cultivate that. And when there's excitement surrounding those sports, it builds. But these guys may be coming here for 1 year. They may be coming in from 2 different schools already. And so you want them to have pride in their school, you want them to like where they play and have a great time playing here. But eventually you got to get them to play for each other. If you don't play for each other, it's you're always climbing uphill a little bit. And so what I try to do all fall, find ways to get them together, understand how to respect each other, respect the game, respect themselves, and go about them the way things you're supposed to go about them professionally and deal with ups and downs. So I don't obviously I've seen some guys, and I think we got a lot of guys who can play right now. The trip to D.C. was incredible. The tour we got of the Capitol on that Friday night from a congressman giving his time 2 hours on a Friday night to go through the Capitol, and what I saw the guys learn from that, going to Arlington Cemetery and Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and Lincoln Memorial and all that kind of stuff, what they learned from that, and as they get closer together. And then the game itself, I saw so many good things. I watched it over this morning. The Fredericksburg Nats gave a great telecast. I saw it again this morning. Showed so many things we did well, and so many things if we can get better at, this team will have a shot. But I like our talent. I like the way they've come together this fall so far, but we haven't had any losses, and people haven't not played and getting the things that they need. So as those things happen in the spring, you determine who you're going to be. And we all know, no matter how good you are or think you are, the league that we play in, the non-conference schedule that we play, you can be very good and not always get the results you want. So we got a challenge ahead, but I like how this fall is going. We're getting ready to wrap it up Thursday as far as the team concept of practice. You do individuals, which is it's individuals, skill work. We've got a team concept for the last, what'll be 34 practices come Thursday night. And then we'll wrap it up and go back to the individual portion the following week. And what I've seen is encouraging.
The newbies, speak to them, and is that kind of a delineation point? If they contribute, can that be what takes you to that top level?
Yeah, I mean, you bring in people for a reason. You lose people, and you think about how you're going to replace this guy and how you're going to replace that guy, and it's hard to do. We know guys we've had to replace, and they seem irreplaceable, and sometimes not going to replace them one for one, but it's the guys we brought in. Not only when you bring in transfer players, whether they be from a junior college or whether they be from the portal, it's not just the player per se, it's what they bring makeup wise and leadership wise and who they are in the locker room. And that was never more evident than 2 years ago with Makaravich and Garrett Pennington, Brandon Butterworth. They all brought something that was very special that helped that team evolve into how great they were. And so I'm very pleased with the guys that we brought in this fall, not just from an ability standpoint of what they can do for us position-wise and offensively, but who they are as people, and I think they get it. And I think they've been at places where they understand what it takes to go try to play at the level we're trying to play at.
What stood out to you about Dalton and kind of bringing him in from Tennessee?
What's that?
What stood out to you about from Dalton?
Stood out?
Yeah.
One is, the pitching coach. I know Vitello, and I talked to Tony as well, but it's really funny how people transfer from different programs. You actually have a conversation like you're professional baseball now, and you call the general manager and you said, hey, what do you think about this guy? And but the pitching coach at Tennessee has been a friend of mine forever. We go way, way back to when he was at Texas Tech and I was at New Mexico State. So, and then Cannon Peoples, who transferred from here to Tennessee, and we still have a great relationship with. Matter of fact, Cannon was at our game Saturday night, which was really pleasing for me, and he came in the locker room after the game. He's still a part of this program. Just because you transfer from here, if you do it the right way, doesn't mean you didn't give a lot to our program and you're not still a part of our program. So it was good seeing Cannon. So I had some conversations with Cannon about Dalton, and he's everything that we wanted makeup-wise and as a player, so that was a no-brainer.
How excited are you to see Jacob Duden get an opportunity to prove he can be a starter in this league?
I mean, I'm just excited for Jacob Duden to get the ball any time he gets it and however he gets it. But he did want to be a starter. It's one of the things we talked about. I mean, Eli Serrano came here and never played first base, and he committed to playing first base and worked his tail off and became an unbelievable first baseman. And after the season, he wanted to play center field. And I said, hey, prove you can do it. Eli went out and proved he could do it. And that's what Jacob wanted to do. He wanted an opportunity to start, and I had to make that decision with Joey Devine one time, one of our best arms on our team, and you got to make a decision. Does it help your team better with him starting or being at the back end when a lot of games, as you can see, as the Dodgers had trouble closing that game out last night, how important the back end is. So ultimately, you got to do what's best for the team. But Jacob wanted an opportunity to start, and we're going to give him that opportunity to start.
How encouraging it was to see him start in the Cape and perform well while he's up there.
Oh, it's always, you always want your players to do well, and you got to go out and do it. That's the way this game is it's, you get bigger, you get stronger, you eat well, nutrition, the strength conditioning program, working with Scott Insel in sports medicine, all that plays a part, but eventually you got to go out and play the game and prove you can do it. And so that was big for Duden this summer. It gives you confidence. Every time a player goes out and does something, you gain confidence from it, and that's what he did this summer. That's what Cooper Consiglio did this summer, and a lot of guys grow in those summer leagues.
I've seen a lot of guys come out with the Jesus One shirts on, and I'm assuming that's probably what's underneath yours right now.
Yes.
How important is that, and how much did Patrick Bailey kind of help to bring that to you guys too?
Well, it's interesting. I've been here for it's my 30th year, and there's two things I never bring into the locker room, and one is religion and one is politics. And I don't think that's my place. I think I have a great responsibility to these players. As I know you love your little girl very much, and when she goes off and plays, soccer or softball or just goes to college and, she has someone that you expect to take care of her, you hope they keep her in the right direction, but you're their parent, and I still let parents make parental decisions. I've never overstepped my bounds in that, so I don't bring politics or religion in the locker room, even though I have my own faith and I have my views on the other. But so these shirts, Patrick Bailey, I think it's when he hit that inside the park home run and they were throwing water on him, and I saw he had this shirt on. I just kind of talked to him a couple days later and congratulated him on what he was doing, and I asked him about the shirt, and he gave me the story. He's got a mentor. Actually, I called him and he didn't answer. He called me back. He said, Coach, I've been with a mentor of mine all day, and I asked, and he told me about the shirt. That guy, his mentor, is the one that started the shirt. Just not to sell shirts. He just did it, and then somebody said, why don't you sell them? And he said, Coach, would you like it for your players? I said, only if they want it. Mm-hmm. So I just asked our equipment guy, I said, see if they would like it. Patrick wants to get them for him, you know what I'm saying? And the whole team wanted them, and he said, tell them pick any color they want, and I thought it was really cool. I want these guys to understand their obligation to NC State, and you got to have a feel for the game and a feel for life. And they said, let's get them in Patrick's colors because he's the one that thought of the idea. And so we got the San Francisco Giants colors, and they came in today of all days, and I saw a lot of guys have them on. I put this over top just because I knew I was going to be on TV or whatever, and I didn't want to cause some kind of reaction from somebody out there.
What's it like for you to see the building getting there?
Oh, it's a pretty sight for me. I'll be honest with you. It's a pretty sight for a lot of people. It's not just for me. I mean, we had the 68 team on the field about 2 or 3 weeks ago, getting their rings for the 1968 World Series. That was a really special day and special night at Emilio's for those guys, and that means a lot to them because they feel like they played the first game on this field. Alex Cheek pitched the first game on this field, and they feel like they helped start this building. And Ray Tanner always wanted that building built, and and then I came over here, and now this building is built, and that's just the beginning. I hope you're going to see in left field one day a left field lounge, maybe like Ole Miss, or maybe it's going to be like a left field thing like McDonald's, where you got a family playground and stuff, and stuff for your little girl to slide down and come out here and watch a game. So who knows? But there's more things we're going to do with this ballpark in time, I hope. And but this is so special, and it means a lot to so many players that play. Austin Murr was here today. It means a lot to a lot of players when they come back here and they see it. You can just tell they feel like they helped get this done.
How proud of you of the legacy. There was a time when you had to play those games in Wilson. And now this place is becoming, and that's during your tenure. So to have been sort of that conduit, that bridge to where this is becoming a top tier facility, how proud are you of that?
I'm real proud of that. I remember going to Wilson. We played that 2003 regional, but yet we had to play the Super Regional in Miami, and we felt like we should have played that here. But it was being built, and we got a lot of things done. So this has been funny, practicing with this thing being built. You had to keep your eye on you always got to keep your eye on the prize and don't get distracted by the inconveniences. But it's been tough for 2 years practicing with the pounding going on and the stuff. And that's going to be the nicest concession stand in America. They've been working on that concession stand, it seems like, for 2 months. But I'm ready to see more brick go up and get the cages in there. We need to be in there when we come back from Christmas. We need to be in that building, locker room and stuff. So hopefully that's going to be the case. But these guys have worked really, really hard at getting this thing done. We're really thankful to the school, everybody that played a part, from the athletic director to the Wolfpack Club, and everybody that's gone out and raised money and allowed this to happen, because this has been something that's been a long time coming, and we all know it should have been done a long time ago, and it just didn't get done. So a lot of things got to go out to a lot of people that had a hand in that. We thank them. It means a lot to this program. It means a lot to the players here, and it means a lot to the former players who felt like they're part of the reason with their success that this got done, and then obviously what it's going to mean to the future of this program.
So the expectation is to be using it by January or so?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always have high expectations.
Speaking of high expectations, you have high expectations. You want to be a winner. You want to be a champion. How are you balancing that with the day-by-day grind of building this team?
Day-by-day grind. That's all you can do. You have to have a vision. Jimmy V taught me that. He taught me so many things very well. If I've had any strength in life, is with so many flaws, I had the ability to listen and be around great people. And from Coach Esposito to Coach Valvano, Ray Tanner, Bobby Guzzo, George Tarantini, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Tony Guzzo, Russ Frazier down at Lewisburg Junior College. The people that I've been blessed to be around in my life, I learned from. And you got to have a vision, and you got to have a dream that you think is a reality. It's not just a vision where saying, hey, I'd like to wake up 6'2" tomorrow or something. That's, it's not true. You just it's like a dream and like a genie in a bottle. You can't have those visions. You got to have visions that you think are realistic, and you got to keep those visions in your head, because all the distractions can keep that vision dimmed and gloomy and all that kind of stuff, and then you forget what your vision really was, or you tell yourself it's not important anymore, but it is important. But you keep the vision there, but you better stick to the day-to-day grind. If you get away from the day-to-day grind, I'll never forget when I took this job 30 years ago. I'll never forget a setting like this. A reporter asked me, was this your dream job? When you were at New Mexico State, did you think about coming back to NC State? And I said, not once. He said, not once? I said, not once. And I said, if I had, I'd be foolish to say this isn't my dream job. I love this job, but if that's what I had constantly thought about at New Mexico State, I probably wouldn't have done a good enough job there where somebody would have thought I could come back here and do this job. So you got to keep your mind on the day-to-day grind, whatever you're doing, and try to do it the best of your ability.
Sweet.